This episode is brought to you by Computer Solutions R Us. Phil and his team hooked us up with all of our computers, and you can do the same for you. Head over to Phil at Computer Solutions R Us and tell him Inside the Game sent you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Beausoleil. Now, before we get started, don't forget to head to our website, InsideTheGame.ca, where there you can leave one of your questions and possibly make it on the show or our weekly podcast. Now, coming up on today's show, the guys went down to Toronto to check out the Rainbow Six Siege Canadian Nationals. Quite an event, I gotta be honest. And they also went hands-on with the Division 2. Now, Corey and Randall talk about one of the more unique, over-the-top brawlers, this arena shooter. You may call it a few different genres, so stick around for that. And of course, Nate and I talk about one of the biggest titles of the year. Now first, here's the guys with the Inside Scoop.
Rainbow Six Siege has revealed their new Operation Wind Bastion, with 2 new operators, an attacker and defender hailing from Morocco, plus a new Fortress map. Fortress, a military training facility located in the Atlas Mountains, will provide players with a rare opportunity to test their skills inside a stunning mud brick Casbah with iconic architecture unique to the southern region of Morocco. The map will be comprised of 2 distinguishable sections offering a variety of open space, points of cover, and lines of sight for both close and long-range engagements. The full reveal of Year 3 Season 4 content for the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege will be made November 18th during the Pro League Finals taking place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Overwatch has recently announced that they're trying to get crossplay across all platforms, and they've also announced 6 new characters, the first one being Ash, a member of the Deadlock gang, very much like McCree.
Rockstar robs the bank again, selling 17 million copies of Red Dead Redemption 2 to retailers, surpassing their predecessor, Red Dead Redemption 1, which only sold 17 million copies in 8 years. Wow, what outstanding stats.
Just you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew and Nate, and we're just here at EGLX, and we're wrapping up today's event. Nate, what'd you think of EGLX in Toronto?
Wow, what an experience this year. It's my first year ever going to an event like this, and I could say it was definitely worth it, man.
Well, this is EGLX's second year putting on this event, and they've done really, really well. I was impressed at how good this place actually is. There are tons of stuff going on, from a huge stage, where Kind of Funny was just at not too long ago, to Game On events, and just esports, and all kinds of things happening, and tons of games to play.
Yeah, wow. I got to try the new Super Smash Brothers, which was...
That was rough. That was so bad.
We're not that good.
Oh.
But, man, it was really cool. I definitely like the direction that they've taken Super Smash.
Oh, Super Smash was fantastic.
Yeah.
It is so polished, but I just sucked at it.
Yeah,
That's
some kid just really beat us.
wrecked us. But we tested out a lot of games, met a lot of developers and stuff, so look for them coming up on the show as well very soon. All kinds of content coming out of today's event. All right, so we just found a new friend for Inside the Game. What's your name?
My name is Raul.
And you were basically photobombing us in the back as we were shooting this thing. So what's going on here today? What are you doing?
Well, I brought my son, actually. He's the one that got me into this. Yeah. And he's really into gaming, especially Fortnite. You know, he's 8 years old.
Oh, yeah, what kid's not playing Fortnite,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had this custom made for this Halloween season, so I was like, might as well just wear it.
Nice.
Dude, the hair's awesome too, man.
It suits it, right? It really works out well. So you had a great time here at the event?
Very, very much so. Yeah, time flies over here. We've been, like 6 hours already in there. And yeah, we've been doing a little bit of everything, some gaming, some playing, photobombing.
That's awesome. All right, man. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you guys. Have fun, and yeah, we'll see you around.
All right, have a good one. All right, Nate, so there's been a lot of esports going on this weekend as well.
Yeah, so we got CSGO, a women's CSGO league, we got Super Smash Brothers, we have Dragon Ball Z, and more.
And there's all kinds. It was nonstop all weekend long.
And the amount of booths where kids and adults could play Fortnite and every game, it was just,
The setup here was fantastic. My
Yeah.
first time being at EJLX, and we'll definitely be back again next year. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
All right, let's head back to the guys over the show.
All right, guys, this past weekend we went to the Rainbow Six Canadian National Finals. Ubisoft was throwing it. We got our hands on Division 2, first people in Canada to play this game. First thoughts on, we didn't get to play for too long, but what did you guys think?
I'm pretty excited about this game, man. I played a lot of the first one, when it first came out, a little bit, as the year went on.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, like graphically, the audio in it, everything seems to just be better.
Yeah, they kind of had us immerse ourselves in the whole experience, right? We got the headsets, we got the TV right in front of us, so it was cool to get a hands-on feel with a game that looks as good as the Division. Like, I've never played it, Steve. I know you haven't either, but just the way the game looked was fantastic.
I have to say, I thought the game looked tasty. And it was like, for me, it was just like, it was so clean, it was like smooth, it was like, obviously based on Washington, D.C.,
Yep.
like apocalyptic kind of style.
Yeah.
And like you said, we all had got our feet wet on it, and I just loved it.
The gameplay I felt was really smooth when it was a PvE style setup that we were playing in, so it was a 4-man squad against a bunch of computer AI players coming in, and I thought it was a lot of fun. It was difficult to just kind of jump in and learn the controls right away, switching weapons and all that stuff, but the gameplay felt really smooth, and it didn't feel, I noticed with the Division, the first one, it felt like you were shooting marshmallows, because you had to put a lot of bullets into the targets to take them down, and this one seemed like it was a little bit faster, because I was getting taken down left and right by computers, and I still had fun.
There's still the, they had the yellow bar spongy guy still,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it felt like the Division just felt better, honestly. Like, the audio really took me away.
It sounded great.
Oh, like-
Explosions going off everywhere. I didn't know what was going on.
The gunfire, everything just sounded really real.
The only thing, my only drawback on it was that when you get shots and all you do is end up crawling around, you can actually wave to someone to try and heal you, but then when the enemy comes towards you, you can't even get your gun and shoot them.
Yeah, if you can wave, you should be able to pull a trigger, right?
Yeah,
Steve?
or at least have a grenade and blow everyone up, take yourself out. That was the only downside I hate, because I ended up finding myself just crawling around everywhere going, help, and it's kind of, they wait for someone to come over and heal you and then just jump back straight into the game again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a lot of time to kill the enemies. I probably used a lot of bullets. I did find out as well, you have different characters which have different weapons and abilities. And I did sort of read on about it as well, that like when you get to like level 30 in the proper game, then it opens up another whole
and it was
thing.
like that in the first one too. So you
Which
level up
looks
to a
forward
certain
to.
point and the game kind of opens up for you. You learn the game and then they let you play the game almost, essentially.
Yeah, with the special weapons and more options and stuff like that. But moving around and seeing the iconic landmarks of like Washington DC and the Air Force One plane just sort of
It was cool, right?
Just
the game,
going
the
round.
game looked great. An overall impression, I think all three of us really enjoyed the short little teaser we got with it. And most of the people at the event seemed to be enjoying it as well, because there was lineups to play that game all night long.
Oh yes.
And I'm excited for it to come out spring 2019. I imagine you guys are probably thinking about picking that one up.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of on the fence because, I played a lot of Division 1, like I said, but it kind of left a little bit of a sour taste because it was just a little bit dry when it came out.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen what they have coming forward, and it looks...
It's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely going to take a look at this game.
Yeah.
It sounds like they've also improved and listened to comments from the previous one. I sort of read about it that like from the first one it's more white because it's more the winter time.
Yep.
So in this one they decided to go for the summer look.
Yep.
And apparently they had GPSs going around Washington, to get all the landmarks,
it out just
to map it all
perfectly.
out, and even like recorded at night time and day to get all the ambience and the sound effects. So they've put a lot of hard work into this
They're
one.
big into the community. Ubisoft listens to the community for a lot of their games, so them improving off the first one's going to be exciting. So I think we're all looking forward to it coming out spring 2019.
Take the capital back. I think we're ready. 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go!
Hello, everybody. I'm here with Adam Kleiman, who is the marketing and esports manager for Ubisoft. And it's definitely quite a privilege. So how are you doing tonight, man?
We're doing great. We're excited to be here. Season 2 live finals. It's going to be great.
Okay, yeah. So today's a pretty big day. It's the finals for the Canadian Pro League. How long have you been working in the for Rainbow Six Pro Leagues and esports in general?
So we've been doing esports now. It's our first year. So we've been partnering with Northern Arena. Right now we're in season 2 of year 1, so we're really excited. It's been a crazy ride for us. It's been such a great experience, and we're only going to be going up from here. So we're excited to see what the finals are going to bring. We're excited to see this last matchup, and we got some big ideas for the next year.
Okay. How long have you been working in the video game industry as a whole?
So myself personally, I've been with Ubisoft for 9 years.
Oh wow, that's a milestone, man.
Yeah, it's been an amazing ride, amazing company, amazing place.
Oh, that's sweet. So, do you work on other tournaments and venues, or is it mostly the the Rainbow Six Pro League?
So my focus is really to work on the Canadian Nationals overall, and to continue to grow the experience in esports for Canadian fans and players alike.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So how has it been setting up the Canadian Pro League? Because it is the second full season, and it does seem to be received pretty well.
Yeah. It's been a great ride for us. Building it up, working with the players for the second season, with everything that we've learned and experienced with season 1, we're really proud to bring all that great experience forward, bring forth some really competitive and great teams from season 1, but also some new ones that came back to really change up the level of matchup. So all in all, working on it from start to finish has been a blast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think there's going to be a third season?
If I were a betting man, I would take that bet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's exciting. Just a question: Do the winners of tonight, do they get to compete in the North American League, or how does that kind of I don't really know how that works?
Certainly, we want to work with the winners and all players to help them grow and compete at the higher level leagues that we have. So right now, we want you Canadian fans to be able to work with us, participate in the Canadian Nationals, and then working with the Pro League. We'll see what happens. We definitely we'd like to be able to see them at that level, but that's up to them.
Okay. So my last question is, do you actually play Rainbow Six yourself or video games in general?
I am a huge gamer myself. Yeah. I happen to love Rainbow Six. It's a great pace for me. Not very good, to be honest, in multiplayer games.
Me neither.
but I love to give it a try and just experience the hype around them.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, of course.
It's been a pleasure for me. So.
You bet.
Could be a situation where he might just want to stick this, and now Frenchie is rotating to Lambeau door, trying to rush in. Can't see him behind the reinforcement, but he'll turn the corner just in time. And Grizzlies establish their first victorious round on Coastline, ironically, on the most favored bomb site on defense.
All right, we're here with Carl over Michelle. How's it going, man?
Really good, man.
Yeah,
you?
Exciting time right now,
I'm really excited about this.
I know you're a busy guy. You got lots of things on the CBC. You got your own segments, and you do a lot of internet reviews and things like that. Yep. I just wondered, with all this esports stuff in Northern Arena, how do you find time to kind of even just be here right now, man?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot going on, and we also have Heads Up Daily with such a TV show about esports and games. Yeah. So, plus Northern Arena. I mean, we have a lot, but it's always fun to be here and be with the fans and be with the community, making sure that we, they're happy with what we're doing, and we can do more. So that's really important for me to be there and talk to people, right?
That's excellent. That's excellent, man. Yeah, no. So just wondering, how long have you been involved in the esports community?
It's been a while. So obviously I was a fan before. Yep. So watching, Twitch, watching some competitions, stuff like that. So that was my thing. 2015, I decided to do my first esports event. I was running the Canadian Video Game Awards. Okay. And I was like, you know what? Let's try to do something here. There's not a lot of big events. Yep. So we did in 2015 of our first CSGO event.
Okay, right on.
Turned out really well. Yep. And then after that, we said, okay, let's go. We had around 500,000 people watching that competition.
Yeah,
so we're like,
big game though. CSGO is a huge game.
Exactly. So we're like, let's go. So we had our second event was at Fan Expo early in September 2016. Yep. So we had over 3 million people watching. So we're like, okay, you know what? We do have something here. Yeah. So we partnered with Bell back then, and we decided to do an event at the Bell Center in Montreal. Yep. And then after that, that's kicked up. Right? Exactly.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I mean, obviously, as a fan, before you got into this, You play games, I imagine.
100%.
What are you playing right now?
So I played a lot of games. Right now, it's funny. I'm playing Diablo.
Oh, okay.
On the Switch.
Oh,
it just
nice.
came out.
Right on.
And then so I played a little bit of that. I played obviously. I was playing Spider-Man before that. AC.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have the time to play COD yet. But I have the game, but I didn't have the time. Like again, super
You're busy. Yeah,
and I'm trying. Like I'm at midnight
that much
now.
already, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty impressive. That's
so
pretty
I
impressive.
play at night. I play at night, connect, and play a little bit of game.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I'm still in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of
There's lots of games to play and not enough time.
There
Right?
you go.
I think
There
we
you
all
go.
run into that issue.
There you go.
So as far as this event's concerned, what are you guys expecting for kind of turnout and how you think things are laid out? Because right now it looks beautiful out there.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so for us, I mean, it's really important. We think we're going to have around like 300 or to 400 fans coming tonight and having fun.
Right on.
Obviously, on stream, we'll have more people watching it.
Yeah.
It's our first year.
Yeah.
First year of the
It's been a good season.
It's been a really good season. So far, so good. A lot of great teams has registered to play.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to go up from there, right?
Yeah, especially in the Canadian, being in North America, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's going to be huge.
And
right?
you know what's really important is also that support from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You know, that game, Rainbow Six, is going up.
It's an unbelievable game.
Exactly. And Ubisoft is supporting it a lot, so that's why we're super stoked to partner with these guys and do it. So,
we got two great teams here, and I think it's going to be a great one. Again, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Everybody, Carl and Michelle.
All right, so I'm here with Alex from the Grizzlies, who is competing in the Rainbow Six Finals. And how's it going today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a privilege for us to have us here. So, how long have you been playing competitive Rainbow Six?
I've actually been playing since pretty much the beginning. Got the game as it came out in December 2015.
Okay.
And, just instantly hooked me. So, I sold instantly all my skins on CS, I downloaded the game because I played the beta. So I downloaded the game and, fell in love with it and, just been rolling ever since.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is Rainbow Six, do you play other competitive games or are you mostly focused on it?
I played in the past a lot, like a Pistol in League. I tried some CS, it didn't work out, but with the level I'm trying to achieve in Siege, I actually kind of have to, dedicate my time solely to that. Yeah,
it's incredible watching you guys
yeah.
play. It really
Thanks.
is, man. So, what kind of at what point did you realize that you were, ready to be in the pro leagues?
Honestly, I kind of missed the point where it got to me. I was just, playing with some friends, with a kind of a clan or what, and I saw that it was performing good. I realized, I had some good knowledge on the game. I could shoot pretty good. Then just started trying some teams, trying some tournaments, and I actually got super close to making the first season of Pro League. So I was definitely I have the potential and I can definitely make it there. Eventually did it. Season 2 I was in Pro League, season 3 as well.
Okay.
So, and from there on out, just, trying to continue the trend.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. So how did you link up with the Grizzlies then?
Yeah. I was on a team and kind of a new project we're trying, and since we're all French Canadian, we kind of played ranked with each other, just had fun. And Purple, the captain, eventually hit me up, and he was like, "Yeah, we're trying to build this roster for DreamHack and maybe more. I would like you and Elastic, which was my duo, one of my best buddies, standing buddies.
Okay.
And we just joined, so us two joined them three, and from there on out, we just making it work. It's gone pretty well so far.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So do you have a preference, console versus PC, or?
I never played console. I used to play COD, I think Modern Warfare 1.
Oh yeah.
Back then, I was pretty good with the sticks, but as soon as I got somewhat a decent computer, I've just been PC Master Race all the way, baby.
Master Race,
yeah, all the way, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, was Rainbow Six Siege your first Rainbow game, or have you kind of played the other ones? I love Vegas and Vegas too.
It's kind of a long time coming. When I was maybe 5 or 6, I used to sit on my dad's lap while he was playing the original Tom Clancy games.
Oh wow!
Not necessarily Rainbow Six, Rainbow whatever, but Tom Ghost Recon and all those. Yeah, so it's kind of a long time coming.
Oh, that's cool. Man. This is always a tough question, but if you had a favorite game or a top 3, what would it be?
My top 3 game? Well, obviously Rainbow Six is probably the first one. The other one, I'd say League of Legends.
Okay.
I played a lot, trying to go competitive on it. Didn't work out, but I still follow a lot of the pro scene, just because I really like this game. I like the strategic mindset behind it.
Okay.
That one. And the third, honestly, it's just one of my favorite games. It's Far Cry 3.
Okay.
I love Far Cry 3 so much. Tried to like the 4th and the 5th as much, but I don't know. Far Cry 3 just had this little special thing, so it had to be that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
definitely.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, man.
I
Good luck
appreciate it.
tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch you, man.
I hope we pull off something good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Probably win.
Nice. Thanks.
30 seconds or more. As there goes Whiskers from Elastic and dropping the shield. It'll be Peng. They gamble on bar stock. It works out, and it's still match point for Team Canada. But are they going to need the 11th hour yet again? They've got one more crack at it before overtime. And for Grizzlies, it's going to be a story of just simply hanging on.
All right, so this past weekend, Nate, you guys were down at the Rainbow Six Siege Canadian National Finals in Toronto. This was a big event. We're going up with Team Canada against the Grizzlies. This was for all the season bragging rights and all that cash.
Yeah, man, what an outstanding environment to be a part of, and a big shout out to Ubisoft and all the people that kind of helped take care of us.
Absolutely.
It really meant a lot, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, now let's talk about some of the match play, because the matches that went for 13 rounds for map 1, 13 rounds for map 2. Outstanding back and forth plays by some of the top players within the season.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Waffle and
Frenchie were right there at the top, right?
Thank you. Frenchie. Oh, those two guys, both their kills were at least plus 10 from the next teammate down.
Yeah, you always seem to have that one player on each team that kind of elevates that team and brings them and steps everybody up to the other level, and that was these two for both these teams.
Yeah, you know what? I'd honestly like to think that our interviews really kind of helped
out Frenchie a little bit, you think?
It helped boost their confidence.
Yeah.
No, I don't really think so.
No.
But honestly, it was really cool to watch those guys just absolutely tear it up.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic. So map 1, they played on Coastline, and again with your typical bands, there goes Lion, right? There goes Mira, there goes Echo. Montaigne was a bit of a standout for me, though.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but you know, I saw a couple rounds where a couple matches where Montaigne was used in the past, and he really can change the tide of battle.
Well, yeah, he can really slow down things or speed things up, and he just brings a different dynamic to the whole round itself, right?
Yeah, so I was pretty surprised though, because there are just so many operators, but
yeah, to see Montaigne banned isn't really one we see a lot of.
No,
that's for sure. So why don't we get in the highlights for the map 1? Jarvis is stunned, but still manages to take down Elastics. Frenchie now takes out Whiskers with only 9 seconds left in the first round. Jarvis with another kill, and that goes the first round to Team Canada.
Coming in to take out Frenchie, and he's just sitting by that doorway. It's a good opportunity to close in. If Purple can't get down fast enough, that could be problematic. Jarvis will pick up his second kill, and there's Whiskers getting his.
So we're heading into round 13, match point. Grizzlies starting to fall as Frenchie, Focons, and Elastic are taken out with only 49 seconds left to hold down the bomb. Darkin gets Pang, trying to change the tides of battle, but it's not enough as Team Canada takes match point for the first match.
Shoot through multiple operators, but he'll be all alone as Purple goes down, and what can Darkin possibly do? Under fire from multiple directions, but the info is in!
All right, Nate, there was map 1 going to Team Canada, just kind of getting ahead there, enough to pull out the win.
Yeah, you know what? It was really close, going 13 rounds, but the Grizzlies just couldn't quite finish it.
No, they were there, but they just weren't able to hold it down as everybody just kind of stepped up a little bit further on Team Canada. Frenchie was there for the Grizzlies and everybody else, but it just seemed to fall short when they couldn't kind of get the corners and the shots off. All right, Nate, so heading into map 2 is pretty much back and forth, going the distance again to round 13. More of the same.
Yeah, honestly, the Grizzlies, again, just falling short of, pulling that W out. But
yeah, Team Canada seems to take it year after year after year, and you're kind of rooting for the underdogs, seeing if the Grizzlies can pull it out. But unfortunately, again, they're now down 2-0.
Yeah, and you want to know what? The Grizzlies, they're a newly found team. This is what really amazes me. They're a new team, and they actually made it to the finals.
Yeah, they're a strong team. They may be new, but they're very strong.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we talk about map 3? We're heading to Borders. Grizzlies need this to kind of stay alive. This is it. But they banned Thermite? Okay, I can see that. Right? That's a hard breacher you're losing there. There's a ban for Lion. That's typical.
Yep.
And of course, the other two, you get your Echo and your Mira that you never ever see. Like that was, man, give me my girl.
I feel like they need to nerf them so that we can see them.
You gotta do something because we haven't seen them all season long, and then of course when you head in the tournament, you don't see them again.
Yep.
So I don't know. Why don't we touch on some of the highlights for Map 3? Purple flies through the window only to meet Whiskers on the other side. Whiskers takes out Purple rather easily. Whiskers gets another kill as he finally stands up and takes out Focons, and Frenchie will take care of that as he trades off with Whiskers. Evil Waffle battles it out with Darkin just for the kill and does a little taunting to take care of that win and takes round 2 for Team Canada. Heading into round 7, match point, Peng playing the glass will hold down the opening from the balcony as things start to heat up. Evil Waffle will get a kill on a Darkin, and then Focons will go down next. Purple fends off Jarvis, then comes up Waffles as Elastic gets Whiskers. It's complete chaos now with 3 versus 2. Frenchie gets a double kill and Elastic cleans it all up, and the Grizzlies get yet another win to stay alive.
Keep this one together. It's Evil Waffle in a post plant, and it'll be Elastic taking him down, so Grizzlies will manage to stave off defeat for the time being.
All right, Nate, there it is. Rainbow Six Siege Canadian National Finals. The winners there, Team Canada, just stepping up ahead a little bit of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, man. Huge shout out to the Grizzlies for, really just making it a great tournament, man. They were so close, and for being a newly found team, like I had mentioned earlier, they really put up an awesome fight.
Yeah, if they stay as a complete unit, they're going to give Team Canada an actual run for their money next year that could just knock them off the top.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited because Team Canada, 3 seasons in a row reigning champs.
Yep.
I think they need to get knocked out.
Well, you can only stay at the top for so long. Maybe the Grizzlies can take them out next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, why don't we head back to the show? These guys may be little, but they're the star of this VR title. So today I am talking about Astrobot on the PlayStation VR. What a very unique title, even potential game of the year. It is that cool and that different than what we're used to. Everybody's played their Crash Bandicoot and their Spyros and their Jackson Daxter, at least some of us anyways. But when you get into the platforming genre, it's been so done well by so many different companies. To have Japan Studio come in and take it on a different spin and bring in VR, it's an experience, of course, like no other because we are in VR. So we are controlling the little robot who has been out to save all of his little buddies because their spaceship was abducted by a alien creature who's ripped the spaceship apart. And now your idea here is to go out and rescue all your friends and rescue the parts of the spaceship that have been broken apart. So every time you beat a boss, you gain a little more materials to rebuild your space shuttle so you can get back home. It's a very cool title. The brightness and the color definitely gives you that kiddie kind of the childlike feel, but the platforming and the searching for your buddies is just so cool to the point where I've actually had to stand up within the game to take a look around because you're so vertical at points that you have to physically get out of your seat. You can't just sit down the entire time to play the game. It is awesome. This has definitely exceeded my expectations of what I expected playing Astrobot. After playing the demo, I was a little underwhelmed, but when you go further along within the game and open up each world and you have to go and you duck things and then things are shooting at you, and the puzzles themselves are so crafted that they're done to almost perfection. It is so unique, and the care that is taken into these things that bring in a 3D element that isn't there, that you don't experience in anything else. So why don't we go hands-on with Astrobot? Your typical platformer, you definitely need to collect some of these coins. And the sunflowers, I had a sunflower you actually approach and you can blow on to get like the little petals and stuff to fly away. Definitely a unique experience. And we're gonna attach something here to our controller. Probably be like the little hook. Yeah, here we go. All right. Okay. I'm gonna shoot it and pull it so we can get our level started here. And we'll shoot this one too and pull this out. All right, so there's one of our little buddies we were missing. definitely have to go get him and a couple of coins. And up. Give him a kick. And he'll join us in the controller. So the idea here is to save all these little guys. We'll duck that one. We'll get his hook. We'll pop his balloon. Oh, there's a ledge down there. So Japan Studios has made, oh, we're gonna jump on him. Okay, so we're gonna lower this. There we go. And we can flick it. It's hard to explain if you've never played a platformer like this. It's very cool, kid friendly, but almost the sad part is with VR, you shouldn't really be letting your kids play it unless they're over the age of 12. Let's see what we can. I don't know. This is definitely one of those games that just feels at home as a platformer, and I've probably smiled more playing this game than I have with a lot of games all year, which is weird to say. So when Astrobot to end every level, sits on your controller and you're trying to shoot it through the coins, and there we go. That is just one little tiny fraction of what Astrobot is. Alright, so that is Astrobot on the PlayStation VR, one of the most unique titles I have ever had the pleasure of playing. It has that verticality sense where you actually have to stand up to see parts of the world, duck around corners, look underneath things. It just brings just a tiny fraction of this gameplay that you saw today is only the beginning of what Astrobot really offers. It is fantastic. I've had a blast playing this game. The fact when you get hit on the face with that goo, you get hit on a regular game and it blocks your screen, that's one thing. But when it actually hits you in the face on the VR unit, you can't see. It blocks things and you have to shake it off. It is fantastic. This is probably one of the best PlayStation VR titles out there right now. So hopefully you guys will go pick this one up. I'm giving Astrobot on the PlayStation VR a 9.5. All right, well in this review, Steve and I get our groove on. All right, Steve, so you and I went hands-on with Just Dance 2019 from Ubisoft. You wanted this one pretty bad, so what do you think, buddy?
I think I was a little bit quick responding to this one.
You definitely were, because when you responded, I went, huh.
Yeah, I was waiting for a few tumbleweeds. I thought the guys might have jumped in and said, hey, Steve, I'll take over.
So this is an ongoing series, right? So every year is a new iteration of Just Dance 2015, 2016, 17, 18. It just keeps escalating year after year. Unfortunately, year after year, maybe they should have just stopped it this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought the visuals was better on this version.
Yeah.
And that was far as it went for me, unfortunately. But, to be honest with you, I mean, it gives you, the main title was good. It gives you the 3 options to connect. You can connect your smartphone with the Wi-Fi.
Sure.
But then I believe it really should come with a Velcro glove and a Velcro thing for your phone.
To hold your phone.
To hold your phone, because I found I was either gripping it too tight or I nearly threw it across the room.
Oh, fair
because
enough.
when you're moving your hand. So I ended up using the camera.
I did as well, and this is where it came into actually a few problems, because half the time, like I played with my girlfriend and it would pick her up and then it wouldn't pick me up, or it would pick neither of us up.
Yeah.
Like it either worked or it didn't work, and half the time it didn't work.
But when you look at the top, when you see like the infrared, it looks like it's picking you up.
Yeah.
But like you, I sort of played with my wife joined in.
Yeah.
She was kind of standing still and just moving her hand, and she was getting perfect scores. I thought I'd get into the game, but I was striking myself to the left, to the right. I was going round, I even threw a few loops in there, a couple of turns, and I was getting okay. As my score, and it was like, yeah, I was working hard on it, I was sweating, so I didn't think I need to play the workout part of it.
It's honestly a lot of this really where it suffers is there's a huge paywall issue with this game.
Oh yes, definitely. I did find with this one, the tracks were limited. I know you can have like the World Party Dance where it interlinks all around the world and you can play live. but half the tracks I didn't even hear of or know of.
Yeah, a lot of this music is just not for me whatsoever.
No.
So we're scrolling through the menu. I'm like, what is this song? Never heard of this song. No way am I dancing to this song. I don't know. A lot of these songs I thought were actually awful song choices.
Yep.
They weren't for me, but like I said though, if you wanted a good song, you're going behind a paywall. They want a yearly subscription for these things.
Oh yes.
The game is priced already at $50 Canadian.
Yep.
And then you want a good song, so we get maybe a dozen songs off the hop.
Yep.
And then you're wanting the rest. There's over 400 songs in the library. That's great, but they give you the 2015 songs. They give you the 16, the 17, 2018 choices, right?
Yep.
So it's then going back to pay for all of those songs, going, I don't want to go pay for all these.
And to be honest with you, they do give the option to like subscribe to the Ubisoft account.
Yes.
But I didn't really want to spend 5-10 minutes putting all the information in to unlock 400 plus tracks for a trial period. Because it's like, I want to just get on and dance and enjoy it. I did find the menu on this version very complicated. As you scroll through it, each track you go on, it takes a big third of the middle part of the screen up with the track, and I'm trying to think, where am I supposed to go? What song I picked?
It was cumbersome.
Yeah.
I was all over the place trying to figure out what song I can pick, and half the time what they've done is they've allowed you to pick 1 or 2 songs, but then give you, oh, here you can get this song, but you have to subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously then you got the option of like the more you play it, then you get like the mojos.
Yes.
That you put like a gumball machine and it's kind of like
this is just
avatars and
you're getting wallpapers or art pictures. I'm like, I really do not care.
Yeah.
About a lot of this stuff. Honestly, the game is just one jumbled mess.
Yeah. And you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of, I have to admit, it's probably good for kids, you know, when they're full of sugar.
Sure.
And they got burn off that energy because they don't care what track.
It's not worth it.
I'm a bit fussy on my music. I wouldn't go to a nightclub and just get up and dance randomly. I like certain tracks I like to dance to.
Yeah.
The option wasn't there. I found I was losing interest very quickly. Yeah,
it's just not
there.
there.
Bit disappointing, really.
And an upsetting year of loot crate issues and paywalls and just microtransactions. Yeah. It's been a huge year focused on that alone.
Yeah.
And then Ubisoft brings out this title. Like, I'm a huge Ubisoft fan to start with, a lot of their titles, but this one completely put me off.
Yeah, I was not impressed at all with this one.
No, not one bit. Steve, if you had to score Just Dance 2019 from Ubisoft, what were you going to give it? Let's hear this one, buddy. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, the other guy said they'll give me $10 if I say this. So I'm going to put my hand in the air and I'm going to wave it like I just don't care. I'm giving this a 5.
Whoa! You went a 5?
Yeah.
No, not even close. I'm going with a 2.5. There is such a huge paywall behind this game. If you want good songs, you're paying for them at a subscription for a year or more, and it's just not worth it. If you have other games already for the Just Dance series, stick with those.
Yeah, I mean, it was visually nice, but like I said, maybe for kids or, you know, the old adults who like a few drinks and want to get down.
It's not worth it for me.
And, you know, especially like at the end of the track, it records you dancing and it's like 5 seconds of speed. That was a funny bit. That was the only best bit about it for me.
Yeah. I would not recommend this whatsoever. 2.5.
So this past weekend at BlizzCon, we had the Overwatch World Cup finals. Top 8 teams from the group stages made it through. It was a good one. I enjoyed watching this. This was an exciting tournament to watch. And let's kick it off with the first quarterfinal match between the UK and the US.
So at the start of the match, the USA came out really strong. We're talking they 100%ed the objective, and UK had 0%.
They did come out very strong at the beginning of that round.
Sinatera, he was playing as Doomfist, and he got a 15-player kill streak. He was absolutely annihilating. Coming into the second round, they came out pretty strong, and they had 99%, but got stumped.
Yep.
And then USA came back 100%, no stop. So despite USA coming out really strong, it didn't really help them out because the UK shortly after the first map swept them 3 in a row. So, you know, it really showed their talent after winning 3 maps in a row.
Yeah.
It was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, the U.S. They came out strong, but they just kind of fluttered out at the end. The UK just kind of stomped them the rest of the way there. But yeah, that's UK moving through 3-1. All right, in our second quarterfinal matchup, we had Australia going against the 2-time back-to-back defending champion South Korea. I think Australia knew coming into this one it was going to be a tough matchup, and it certainly showed because South Korea came out firing. They didn't allow many points on the Australian side throughout the entire match. South Korea just they showed that they're why they're the champions. Australia they made pushes, but South Korea just stymied them every single time, no matter what the game mode. It's just they never gave them a chance. They were never in it to begin with, and I feel bad for Australia because they were a good team and you could tell they came in prepared. But when you're going up like a powerhouse against South Korea like that, it's difficult to stand out, right? And South Korea handled them throughout the entire matchup. So they end up moving on to face the UK in the second round.
Heading into match 3, we had China versus Finland, and Finland had a pretty strong start. They took the first round, and it seemed like China didn't really, know what was going on. They didn't really know what to expect. But right after the first round, it didn't take much time because they just cleaned up, man. They took all 3 maps.
For sure. China's always one of the top competitors, so it was very much like the Australia-South Korea matchup where you're going to get a powerhouse team going up against a team that's maybe a little more unproven, but it looked like maybe they're going to hold their own to start that one, eh?
Yeah, man, and you want to know what? China, their use of Doomfist, yet again, just like the first match.
Like you said, he's possibly the meta right now, right?
Yeah, man, like it really showed, and he kind of helped turn the tide.
So China's moving on then?
Yep.
All right. So to decide who China's playing, the next matchup was Canada and France. And obviously, being Canadian, I was excited to see what Canada had. But again, they were one of those teams coming into this that weren't necessarily supposed to make it any farther than, even to this point, actually, because there's a lot of good teams in those group stages. So Canada had to beat out quite a few good teams to make it to this top 8. It started off, it was tough at first for Canada. France came in pretty strong on the first map in the first round. Canada, I think, was a little taken back at how aggressive France was. They were pushing almost into spawn every round when they could to try to keep Canada at bay. But the problem is when you overreach like that, teams can find ways around and end up getting flanked. France, their timing of a lot of their ultimates in most of the rounds that they played were good because they were wiping Canada at times where they could take advantage or take an advantageous position. But Canada would come back and counter with their own ultimates and then retake that position or point or keep the cart moving and escort. And it was interesting to see, but Canada actually ended up taking it 2-1 the first round, 3-2, and then 5-4, and they took the 3-round sweep of France in the first quarterfinals, so they moved on to the semis to play China.
So heading into day 2, we had the semifinals, and the first match was the UK versus South Korea. And you want to know what? I was pretty stunned that it wasn't a complete blowout. The UK really, really actually, held their ground, but they couldn't do it. South Korea's they're just too good, honestly.
They really do show when they play. It doesn't matter so far who they've played, that they're the champions for a reason, right?
Yeah. So Fleta, who was playing as Farah, he pretty much won this for South Korea almost to himself. He had 54% of the team's kills.
Yeah, that's significant.
And that's like final blows. Like, he just was outstanding, and she actually wiped out the team twice in a single round. United Kingdom, they had so many close calls, but just couldn't quite, just seal it.
Hang in there with South Korea like that for a team that a lot of people didn't think would even make it to this portion of the tournament is impressive.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm excited to see the UK next year. I bet you they're going to come out super strong and honestly give them more of a run for their money.
All right, well, moving on to the second semifinal matchup, we got China and Canada. And this one was a little more lopsided than the other semifinal matchup. They came out strong in the first round against China. They actually captured the first zone and looked like they were really going to take control of the match, but China came in late with a big ultimate push, flip-flopped the control, and then they kind of ran away with it from there. All right, well, that takes us into the finals. South Korea versus China, two powerhouses. South Korea
looking to capture their back-to-back 3 in a row championships. And China wasn't, they didn't really want to give it to them. They tried their best in the first couple matches. They held their own, and they were pushing back when they needed to. But again, South Korea just, as a team unit, they come in there and they're so hard to stop. The way they use their ultimates, the way they move from spawn to objective, it's almost like it's mathematic how good they are at this game. They're so competitive, and China came in and they tried to hang with them, but unfortunately South Korea really just wiped the table with them all the way through. This whole tournament for South Korea, all the way through, it just showed why they're the reigning champions. And then they didn't even let China take a match. They took 4 out of 7 matches, and it was a complete domination. China, again, much like Canada in the China-Canada series, was after the first couple match losses, they had a tough time rebounding from that. And South Korea, you have to be on your game. You have to be playing at 150%, and they couldn't do it, unfortunately. But they put up a good fight, but South Korea just took it to them and took the 4-0, and they came home with the gold medal, and China went home with the silver. But overall, this tournament, all these teams that made this final 8 actually all won $16,000 for their teams, making it out of the group stages. And
well deserved.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's not easy to get through those group stages. And South Korea back-to-back championships, and let me tell you, they're going to be looking for that 4th one next year.
Oh yeah.
So we're definitely looking to the 2019 Overwatch World Cup.
Making roster changes before this event, but the three-peat has been completed. The legacy is lengthened. The dynasty is strengthened.
All right, so this week we are battling up in an arena in Relic Raiders. All right, so Corey, this week we were looking at Relic Raiders by Crystallized Games. What were your initial thoughts? I really kind of was excited to play this game. I've never played a top-down arena brawler style game where it's kind of based on all these tiles as the whole kind of game map, and they shift, they move up and down. Some of them get deleted as the game goes on. It's very battle royale style type of gameplay, and I thought it was really exciting. It was kind of interesting to just jump into a game that I've never really played before.
No, definitely. Like when I jumped in and my character landed, I wasn't initially sure kind of like what was the best way to play, and I started seeing like all these different levels like starting to drop. I'm like, what is going on?
It is a trial by fire kind of game.
It totally is.
It's a very independent studio, so you're getting kind of a little more raw gameplay, but the bones and foundations of a really good game are in there. And when they throw you into it, yeah, you have to kind of click on the how to play to check out what you need to do.
Yeah, do that.
You come back and you're dead, someone's killed you because you've been looking at how to play the game, so you jump back into another match, and it just drops you back onto the battlefield, and you're playing against 4 or 5 players, depending on how many people were queuing up.
Yeah.
And they start you off with, unfortunately, there's a whole slew of characters with different abilities, range, close combat, healer, that kind of thing. And they only give you 3 characters to choose from off the bat, and you have to unlock everything else via the coin system that you earn by getting a higher score during your matches, things like that. And what I found was the coin accumulation is a little slow. I'm not very good at the game, so that's probably partially it. But I was hoping to maybe when I jumped into the game that I had a little more options to choose from when it came to characters. It was very, you got one close combat, one kind of really ranged guy, and then a big kind of mech suit guy that did a little bit of both, right? And I found it kind of difficult because I wanted to try a few more players because there was other people that you're playing that come into the game, and they're a different character that you've never really dealt with before.
Yeah, no.
But it was fun because there was that element where you're running in, and the way the camera angle works is that you can't really see much around you other than the tile more adjacent to where you're headed or anything like that. There's no real top-down huge view where you can kind of see the battleground, right? So you can hear people, and then you kind of run up on them, and then it's just chaos, right? Because you're clicking and trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun because actually there was one game I played, I managed to get a win. I don't know how. I think I must have been playing against some potatoes because I'm a potato myself. But it was a lot of fun kind of getting that win. I was like, okay, let's jump into the next one. And when I jumped in the next one, I think I got killed immediately. So it was, back down to earth pretty quick.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a really fun game. And I think the ability to unlock some of these characters that they have is going to be really interesting.
Overall, like the gameplay really was fun.
It's a great looking game too.
It is, yeah.
The way when the level shifts and the tiles drop out and they kind of explode into the oblivion, and sometimes you get abilities that get you to raise tiles up. It's a cool looking game, and I thought just the way the game played and the level development, I thought it was a lot of fun to experience a game like that. Again, it was just sometimes you're waiting 10, 15, 20, an hour and a half for a match.
Yeah.
I found that really difficult, and I wanted to play this game more and like it more, but that really held me back. And you don't really earn the coins as fast as you want to unlock some of the newer characters, but it was still a fun game, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, it looked great. And they've got good bones, and I think if the community were to populate a little bit more, this game could pick up some serious steam.
For sure,
Oh yeah, because it's fun. Like I enjoyed it. It's just there was nobody to play it with, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Like I really liked how the like you said, like how certain parts lower, or they just become completely like just go to oblivion. It adds a certain dramatic sense of urgency behind your gameplay.
Yeah.
Like I ran into one point where I had jumped up from one level, but I hadn't jumped quite soon enough, and then I fell down, and the guys up here
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well,
and that's the thing. Yeah, the tile doesn't necessarily just drop out right away. It starts to lower slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly, sorry. And so yeah, sometimes you get caught on a tile that's so low, and you're like, I can't get back up. Yeah. And everybody else just gets to watch you fall out into space there. So it was. It's a fun game. It's challenging, especially just jumping in the way we did. But overall, I think it's a good game. It just needs a little more to it. Yeah. A little more people, maybe a little more ability to unlock the characters faster, because there's lots of skins, emotes. It's there's a lot of things to unlock in this game, and I think the potential's there for it to be good. But overall, if you had to score this game, Randall, what do you think?
I'd probably sit right in the middle, about a solid 5. One of the critiques I'd probably give would be, I notice every time you start a match, you always start in the same map. It'd be nice if they throw out a couple of different maps in there just to kind of give it more variety, better gameplay, but that's just personal opinion.
With that tile system too, they could randomly generate maps over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see that for sure. For me, I thought the game looked great. The controls are fairly basic. It's just learning them at the hop when you first get into it was a little bit challenging, because they like I said, they throw you right into it, right?
They do.
But overall, the gameplay was fun. The game looked great. The community right now is a little low on population, so that's really what loses points for me. And you know what? I'm looking at it. I was going to give it a 5.5.
Yeah.
Just because I like the game. I thought it was fun. The bones are there. It just needs a little more work.
Okay, we're jumping into Wild West and one of the biggest games of the year.
They don't want folk like us no more.
All right, Nate, we have the absolute pleasure of playing Rockstar's latest game, Red Dead Redemption 2. What an awful game.
Oh, it's just terrible. It's so small. There's not a lot to do. And
I'm so bored.
All right, who are we kidding?
Yeah, let's be honest. This has got to be one of the biggest games I have played. I just came off of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and this still feels as big as Odyssey, if not with more content and more things to do in it. To go from one big game into another big game, it almost feels kind of exhausting, but it is so different. It is so cool. And the characters and the world development, I find myself traveling the world, not even playing the story, and stopping dead in my tracks just to enjoy the scenery.
Oh, yeah. All the time. You countless times, you run into all sorts of random things, whether it be, some guys, I had a perfect incident. Some guy was taking care of his horse while I was just walking down the road, and out of nowhere his horse boots him in the head and knocks him out. So I stopped. I'm like, okay, I'll take your loot and then I'll leave. Yeah, just something between that, or you run into a group of bandits, or just a lady that needs help with anything. It's just there's too much to do.
I came across this guy who was getting robbed the other day. All I hear is help. I'm like, I can't even see this guy come out onto the road, because I was out in the bush. I was hunting. Come out of the bush, onto the road. These two guys are sticking this guy up. He's got a carriage. And he's like, help me. I went, all right. I shot both those guys. The guy goes, well, they were trying to get into the lockbox. If you can get into it, it's all yours. I'm like, all right. So I busted open the lock, took the stuff, and took off. Saved that guy, killed the bad guys, and it was just out of nowhere, right?
Oh, that's
These
so
are
cool.
The experiences that you live in Red Dead that are just not in any other game.
No, they're not. And it's, like I said, there's endless amounts. They're still, to this day, finding new things that are in this game.
Well, yeah, we're going to be finding new things in another year or two yet when it comes to this game, right? It is so big. The characters are incredible. They are deep. There is so much depth within these characters, and pretty.
Oh yeah, what a fantastic looking. I wish I had an Xbox X like you.
Yeah.
And a 4K TV.
So, okay, so we're gonna touch on this. I went down to the riverbed on my Xbox One X on a 4K TV, and to check out the river, like the water was flowing crystal clear through the water, where you can see the sparkles on the rock in the riverbed. Like it was, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, the attention to detail in this game is just next to none almost, honestly.
Well, even when you open up the game first starts, you're up in the mountains and it's all snowy and whatever, right? And you're learning to hunt. So you go, you shoot a deer. You put the deer on the back of your horse. You go back to camp, but as you go back to camp, there is a big snowstorm happening and the snow is building up on the back of the deer as you're making your way to the camp. Like it's the little details that just put this game above everything else that's out right now.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Now, obviously, a Rockstar game is known for their stories, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is no exception. The story is massive. The character development that carries these stories and the characters that you meet help build this world and the story of Arthur Morgan, who is now our prequel to Red Dead Redemption, right? That's our main protagonist. The evil side versus the good guys, which is a funny character design because really Morgan's a bit of a bad guy, really.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy, but you have good options. You can go both sides, whether you want to go completely bad or you want to build up a good character.
You actually kind of build a relationship with your horse. You have to pet it, you have to feed it, you have to take care of it, you have to clean it.
Yeah,
you know?
always.
And I killed my first horse. I didn't know you could do that. But I ran into a train.
Oh, that'll do it. Oh, man. To see what they've created with Red Dead Redemption 2 is just phenomenal. And we haven't even touched on the online experience, which isn't out yet, but it's coming, so expect a review on that as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Nate, if we're going to wrap up this review of Red Dead Redemption 2 by Rockstar, what are you scoring this one?
1, 2, okay, 10 it is.
You're
absolutely.
giving it a 10?
It's a 10, man. It's a masterpiece.
Okay, I see where you're coming from, but for me, I had a slow start to the point where I didn't even really like the game, but once I got past that mountain snow area, everything exploded, and I just came around completely 360 on this. I'm there with a 9.5. All right, so that'll wrap up this week's episode of Inside the Game. Now, each and every week, one of you guys send your clips, a highlighted moment, something cool, something funny. You never know what it is, but each week we feature one of you. Now, up this week, we have Smelly Hector facing off a huge bear in Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's check it out.
Casbah. I should have read this first. Goddamn Casbah. Rock the Casbah. Rock.
What are you doing?
I was getting comfortable. This might be a little while, isn't it? I don't know if I would sleep back. Yeah, well, we'll get comfortable.
Red Dead Redemption.
Was that it?
Drew, week 6.
Hang on, I was scratching my shoulder.
All right, ready?
Yep.
So Blizzard has officially announced the Overwatch World Cup, which starts November 2nd. There are 8 different countries competing in 4 different cities. So if you want to catch the latest news and stats, I know, it's that ending.